I think they're all very crucial concerns. If you have to ask me, one of the main reasons why this election is so important is because of the crucial issue of unemployment. So that has to be rectified from the very beginning. I have seen a lot of manifestos which have been flying around from various parties, and there's a lot of promises. But unfortunately, they're not tackling, or they think people are not going to ask difficult questions about where that revenue is going to come from when you pledge all these things. So I think that that's a very big disservice to the people. You need to identify your revenue sources also, not just what you will do, promises about freebies and so on. That being said, I mean, if we look at both these two, the private sector and the public sector, Meghalaya is overwhelmingly, in terms of employment share, mostly in the public sector. That's why everyone wants to jump into the government, because till date also, they still give you some benefits. Not enough anymore in my opinion, but they still do give you much more benefits than any private employer in the state. We have failed to create private employers for a very long time now in the state, and that is one issue which needs to be taken up very seriously across the board, across political lines, because it's very clear now that the government cannot, nor should it also, take on board all these various roles in an economy. And now it's important to see which one of these various avenues, opportunities, sectors can be fully realized, because you don't need to throw everything all at once into every single basket. You can concentrate on electricity, concentrate on agriculture. I've heard a lot of people say tourism is one thing. So we need to concentrate on certain sectors, but also with that real emphasis on creating employers who will be able to handle health insurance coverage, paternity, maternity, even pension, superannuation funds, which people should be onboarded into. We cannot have the situation like it is now, where the government has a lot of money in these various sectors that I've just mentioned, but ends up just throwing it to one or two people, contractors, who then eat a lot, but they have no obligation to create any employment at all. They work in what is called the gig economy, where they only live from one event to another event, and pay their people peanuts. They're not obligated to do anything for them. So I think these are the real crucial concerns, in my opinion. And also, if we really want to be standing on our own two feet, away from central government control, then we have to empower, we have to build up these capacities within ourselves. If we talk about these things, most people will say, who cares about them? They're not important issues. In fact, I say they're the most important issues. Nobody else will talk about these things, and it scares me actually that for 50 years now, 50 plus years, we have been unable to do anything with so much money that has been thrown at us. That is absolutely shameful. Yeah, so this is a good transition from that first question where you asked me. I think as I said, it's time now to concentrate on employers. How can we create employers? I can see that there are still various government companies which have a lot of assets which need to be properly managed and utilized, such as Mecofed, Nari, Meg Processing has huge potential, MECL, which they have been destroying with their corruption, unfortunately. These are companies that have to be insulated from governmental control, I would say abuse, because government should have a regulatory role in it, but it should not be how it is now, where an IS officer handles police, fisheries, animal husbandry. It doesn't make sense to me. How can he be knowing every single thing? He or she has to specialize, and that's where you need more people to come into the management role, and that's where you need young people from a from an MBA background or management background, let's say, who have that acumen, who can show that they've done good jobs, which there are so many of in East Shillong. So you use them, you use their talents to manage these companies, turn them around, make sure that they turn a profit and share that profit with the workers. That is very important. We have to start thinking like that. I really don't believe that any one man or woman can do everything. So we have to establish teams. We have to insulate these guys from this type of political interference also, because as you can see in our society, most of the time it's just because people come in and interfere, with how who gets what in terms of jobs and various tasks within an organization. If you ask me what are the concrete steps, I would say that yes, we have to turn around and make these government companies into profit-driven companies, which are insulated, as I said. The other thing is we also have to encourage the credit, coming into the economy. Like the banks really are to be blamed here. If you look at the amount of credit that they are willing to give, it's very, very low, especially for businesses, especially for startups. It's very, very low. They are very quick to give you car loans, but very, very, very rarely will they issue the same amount in terms of a business loan, which is what we actually need. Well, of course, I do think that we do need a lot more training. We need market exposure, because you can't in the marketplace. There's no ST, there's no SC. There's products and there's services. So your product has to be that good. Your service has to be that good. So we do have to think outside what we've been told for a very long time. We have to enable services here also. We have to look at that. We have a lot of trained teachers. We can use their knowledge to start e-learning services, perhaps with communicative English. Try to get them to teach children from Korea, China, wherever, or even the rest of the country, how to speak better English, how to use correct English, or what other aspects as well. Because we're very strong in the arts. I think that's a strength that we should use. Then also at the same time, I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and I think it's true. We do need to strengthen and realize our own potential as a call center hub, because I don't see why we can't do what Bangalore has been doing for a very long time. Of course, they have much more money, but we gave them that money by bringing in that talent and that human resource. So there's various concrete steps that can be taken up, even with let's say the laborers. We should empower our laborers more. Their skill sets are still very outdated. They don't have any tools. They are at the mercy of the contractors. That all has to be reversed. As I always say, there are contractors nowadays who are driving around in cars which are 30-40 lakhs, and their workers, their laborers can't even afford a daily meal. That is an injustice that we cannot tolerate. We have to act and reverse that, because a lot of exploitation happens in that sector because there's a lot of money in infrastructure. But unfortunately, the laborers themselves get nothing out of it, in my opinion. So all these things can be rectified. It's not difficult. These small steps, corrective steps, can lead to a lot of employment, I believe, even within the constituency. And of course, we have to expand our reach beyond the constituency as well. It should be the bright, smart young people of East Shillong who are leaders in industry and commerce of the state. I'm a big believer in cooperative sector, because I've seen in my when living abroad as well that we only see Walmart and we only see Starbucks, but actually the backbone of most of that is the cooperative sector, because the cooperatives really support all your Walmart, your Amazon Green, so on and so forth. It's them. In the UK, there's a very strong chain of shops, which I think is the third or fourth largest in the UK, and they're very well managed, especially fiscally, financially. They are called Co-op, right? COOP. I really like that store. I think that they have achieved a lot of good things within a sector where everyone used to laugh at and look down on. Because nowadays all you hear about is corporate, corporate, corporate. And in India especially, they think Adani, Ambani should own everything in the country, which is really ridiculous. But we have to look at those things which are already there. Our culture, the Khasi, Jantia, the tribal cultures here, the Garos as well, we've always prided ourselves in this whole idea of doing things together, working together. Imlang salang, trailang, kagewlang. So these are ingrained in us. We should use these beliefs so that we can grow also. But we have to think and look at goals. We have to look at the future. We can't allow just one or two vested interests, which unfortunately have managed to put themselves into every political party, to dictate terms. That is unacceptable. I think looking at these various cooperative models from outside is something of an inspiration we should take very seriously. Now, with regards to that idea that East Shillong, which is true. I mean, we don't have much space, but as I said, I mean, I believe that our human resource potential is very high, much higher than any other constituency in the state, and we have now this opportunity to lead various things throughout the state. Could be that through my hard work as an MLA, I can help empower people who then lead something in Mount Hatraishan, Nongstoin, in Phulbari, anywhere. So it can't be, we can't think only about the constituency. We have to enable our people to do the best that they can anywhere. Well, I'll tell you a story. All this has come out actually of many stories throughout my 10 years since I've been back here in Shillong. I've tried many things, and I always tell this story. I've tried many things in Shillong. I've tried so many things, and most of the time I realize it just doesn't go anywhere. And this is a frustration that many people feel. And the reason for that is this kind of oppressive governmental control, which is equal parts politician and equal parts bureaucratic, which is being exercised by these groups, on the people. I am quite a educated person in that sense, qualified person, but even I could not access, success because of these people standing in the way. These are the gatekeepers which have to be removed. My entry into this field has come out of many years of frustration. And the latest story, which I always tell people, which happened a few years ago, just before COVID, we had wanted to start something in agro business, in agro, like some sort of an agro business unit. And we had tried, and we had done all the research. We had found that this was being enabled by Delhi, and this is what we could do. And then we had even diversified the product beyond that. We were thinking all these big things. Now, at the end of the day, when the paperwork comes to the bureaucrat, he or she will just look at it, and if you don't pay up front, they're not interested. So imagine what that says about the state, that these people are so inhuman and so they have no humanity. I feel like no compassion, that they will ask you first and foremost, pay up first, and then you will get what you want. We wanted to start something up. We didn't have the money. That's why we went to the government to get some assistance to handhold us. But then these are the same people who will turn you aside. And I think this is a frustration that many young people I hear through social media and my own interactions. They are so frustrated. You don't know anyone, this door is not open for you. You're not somebody's son, this door is not open for you. This is why I'm fighting. And that's why I decided to take this plunge, so that I can help course correct this great injustice. Oh yeah, I mean, as has been noted many times, I mean, we are matrilineal, uh, but power still very much rests in male hands. This is true. We have to correct this. We have to bring about an equal footing. Because if you really look at even politics, like I'm a man, it's easier for me to access the political sphere, the political podium, because I'm a man. We have to correct this, because if you look at how many women pass out till class 12, it's overwhelmingly women, and they're doing very, very well. They usually, as a on average, they do much better than men. And yet, when you start going to college level, you start seeing a shrink. You start seeing lowering of the numbers of participation. Perhaps one big issue is also the high costs of college education. Then by the time you reach university level, it's almost, it's completely erased the advantage. So we have to help our women become, what to say, to become world ready. I've seen that a lot of talented young women are not given that opportunity to grow because of these constraints that, or tradition, or family, this and that. There are certain things, obviously, which hold them back in terms of especially tradition. But at the same time, this is now a modern age. We have to help our women. There's a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of schemes, there's a lot of assistance which should help bring them up. In fact, we're so lucky that we don't live in a society where, unlike the rest of the country, where women are so badly forgotten and neglected. But at the same time, it's not ideal. We should be doing that. I feel across parties, we should be doing that. And it's sad that even, I'm guilty. I'm also guilty, but I want to help correct many of these things that have been neglected. Well, I'm not going to tell you work hard and study hard, because you're already doing that. I see a lot of young people, they're trying so hard to succeed in life, but they're not given that opportunity. As I said, those doors are closed to them. Whatever happens after elections, I'm here, I'm your friend, and I will help you open those doors no matter what happens after elections. This is an event that happens only once every 5 years. It is important, but not the most important thing. We have to come together and open those doors, even by force, because the people who are behind those doors, who hold the keys to those doors, are not going to open them so easily. So we have to even, be a little bit more aggressive. I've seen a lot of people shy away from that because they're scared. But look, if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it for us. I'll tell you that. Those shackles have been bound for a very long time. We have to unshackle them. We have to be tough. I think that is something that I would like them to understand, that, we have to be tough, and we have to come together and break down those barriers.
Revolution, Meghalaya.